When you're fresh out of university, learning has structure. There are classes, deadlines, a syllabus, someone guiding you through the maze. Even then, those first few weeks can feel overwhelming. You're surrounded by people in the same boat, and there's a comfort in that. You know what's expected, you know when you're on track, and when you're falling behind, someone usually tells you. But when you're learning something new later in life, you're on your own. There's no classroom, no professor, no one telling you what comes next. The overwhelm now isn't just about information, it's about isolation. You're the one setting the pace, and sometimes you're the only one in the room. There is no one to compare notes with, no one to ask, did you get stuck on this bit too? It's just you, the material, and the quiet. And I'll be honest, the quiet can be loud. It's easy to feel like you're the only one struggling, the only one who doesn't get it right away. But I've learned that that's not true. Most of us are just better at hiding it as we get older. At 25, being a beginner feels normal. You expect to be slow, to make mistakes, to ask questions that sound naive. At 57, being a beginner feels exposing. You're used to being the person with answers, the one who's seen it all before. Suddenly, you're the one fumbling with basics, Googling terms you've never heard, and wondering if you're the only one who feels lost. It's not just about learning a new skill, it's about letting go of the comfort that comes with competence. There is vulnerability in admitting you don't know, especially when you've spent decades building expertise. Sometimes I catch myself hesitating to ask for help, not because I'm too proud, but because I'm not used to being the one who needs it. The hardest part isn't the skill, it's the identity shift. You go from being the person people come to for answers, to being the one asking the questions. That's humbling, it's uncomfortable, but it's also honest. It's a reminder that growth doesn't stop just because you've got a few grey hairs. And if I'm honest, there are days when I wonder if I'm too late, if the world has moved on and I'm just trying to catch up. But then I remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every journey starts with not knowing. When I started this channel, I didn't know what I was doing. The thumbnail on my very first video just said, just start. And that's exactly what I did. I figured out along the way, one thing that's different now is access. If you don't know how to do something, there's probably a YouTube tutorial for it. There are forums, online courses, communities, for every interest under the sun. The information is there. The real challenge is being willing to feel uncomfortable long enough to use it. It's easy to get stuck in research mode, to convince yourself you need to know everything before you start. But the truth is, you learn by doing. You learn by making mistakes, by asking questions, by being willing to look a little foolish now and then. And that's the real hurdle, not the technology, not the information. The willingness to be a beginner again, to sit with the discomfort, to keep going when it feels slow, to trust you'll find your footing if you just keep moving. You don't need the full map before you begin. Sometimes you just need to take the first step, even if you're not sure where it leads. Every long journey starts with discomfort. It's not about running a marathon on day one. It's about putting on your shoes, stepping outside, even if you're not sure how far you'll go. There's a temptation to wait until you feel ready, until you know enough, until you're sure you won't fail. But if I've learned anything, is that readiness is a moving target. You rarely feel ready, you just start, and the readiness comes later. If there's something you've been thinking about learning, maybe you don't need to master it yet. Maybe you just need to begin. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. I'm still beginning things, slowly, imperfectly, but I'm beginning. And if you're feeling the same way, you're not alone. If you want to connect more, everything's at empowerover50.com. Cheers.
Empower over 50 now. Stand up tall and take your bow. Feel the rhythm, feel the power. This is your triumphant hour.